Hello, this is Lucretia with the Calm and Confident You podcast. Today, for the first time ever, I am interviewing a guest on the podcast. So I'm moving into new territory here. The person that I'm interviewing is the person that I share my office with, and we kind of complement each other. She uses the office during the daytime. I use it in the evenings. So let me introduce to you Laura Moog, who is a massage therapist. Hello, Laura. Thank you for joining my podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to do this.
Well, I'm glad you are willing to be my first guest and to try it all out with me. Could you tell people kind of what your exact title is?
Sure. Technically, in the state of Idaho, I am a licensed massage therapist.
Okay. So I'd like people to kind of get to know you a little bit before we talk business. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, such as, where did you grow up?
Sure. So I grew up in a farming town in central Montana and lived the small town farm lifestyle, and actually ended up getting a finance degree in college and started out my career that way,
Oh,
working
wow, that's completely different.
in the business world. Yes.
Oh, so were there any clues along the way that you were thinking massage therapy, or were you thinking business?
Well, I've always been the type of person that is always there to help people, always been that way. And I believe that that's probably the biggest thing why I didn't enjoy the business world so much, was because helping people and helping people more got me more work, but very rarely got me more pay. So it was just very frustrating. I didn't get a real big opportunity to help individuals and help people. So I think that was why I was mostly frustrated in that world.
So how long were you in the area of business before you kind of went into training to become a massage therapist?
It was about 10 years that I did that. I was in bookkeeping mostly, which is an absolute waste of my degree, really. What I liked, the finance part of it, is I loved the markets and what drove the markets and that sort of thing. But I will explain later how that actually moved me toward how I practice my massage these days.
Okay.
There's more to come.
Well, so about 10 years, and then did you quit your job and go to school for massage therapy, or how did that happen?
Well, I like to tell people that I started massage therapy on a dare. I was sitting with a friend having dinner, and I'm sure I was complaining about my current job and the situation I was in. And she just looked at me and
As
she
we
said,
all
well, why
do.
don't you try massage therapy? She was in school. Yeah, right. So she said, well, why don't you try massage therapy? And I'm like, the typical thought process that most people think about massage therapists, at least back then was my thought, is I am not a vegetarian. I don't wear big long skirts. I don't, all of the typical, almost 20 years ago, what people thought of massage therapists. And she sat there eating a burger and she said, normal people go to massage school too. So I took that as a dare. So, and I'm not one that will that will fall back on a dare. So, but
wow,
the first class that I took, I knew I was in the right place.
Very cool. So what was the training and how long did it take? Where did
So
you go to school?
the courses that I took, I went to school at East West College of the Healing Arts in Portland, Oregon.
Did it take a
Yep.
year or 2 years, or how long did it take?
It took a year. It took a year for me to finish the course. Most people would have done it in a year and a quarter, but I was raring to go to get here. And I specialized while I was going to school on the mostly on the Western side of things. So I took deep tissue, um, trigger point therapy, and then I went to the Eastern side of things and took a Thai massage kind of curriculum. So I have a wide range of
Nice.
schooling from then. But right after I was done with school, I went into cranial sacral therapy training as well. So I go from the dig in there and kind of kill it type of therapy of deep tissue and trigger point to the very much just holding and letting the body heal itself that it's inherently able to do.
Hmm.
Just being able to hold that and just a little bit of pressure here and there. Um, so it's just a very, very different technique, but is actually my favorite because it means that I'm not in control, that the person on the table is actually the one that's in control.
In
So
their body. Okay.
yeah,
So that kind of sets
yeah.
you apart from other therapists. It sounds like you kind of have a balance, and then more of a specialty in the, is it cranial sacral? Is that what you said?
Cranial sacral, yes. So
Okay.
yes, and also in the cranial sacral therapy side of things, I've done 2 or 3 classes on specific brain issues. Um, so like if you've had concussions, if you've had kind of brain trauma, there's ways that I can work with inside and around the brain. So we can get some of those areas hopefully opened up to be able to function again. And I've also taken a pregnancy and birthing class.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been able to help a few women with getting prepared, helping them get through their pregnancies, but also getting prepared for the delivery part. That's been super
Mm-hmm.
exciting as well. So I've got kind of this
Yeah,
wide
I'm
range
sure. I'm
that
sure it is.
I get to work with. So
So obviously we're talking a lot about the physical side of health, but is there anything with your practice that helps people with their mental, emotional type health?
oh, massage itself is so helpful with all of that. Um, first thing, even one of the reasons I kind of work with my clients in a certain way. I've I'm always giving them kind of control of how the massage goes. There's been, I mean, you in your practice, you know how people have been injured and abused or all those kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things. I want my practice to be a place where people can be safe, get used to safe physical touch, um,
Mm-hmm.
be able to feel like they're in control of what happens while they're on the table, um, the pressure,
Nice.
the how they feel if they need to stop. They're in control of that, and that's that's huge. So on that side of things,
Mm-hmm.
the physical side of things, obviously, we work behind desks. We're on our phones all the time. We just how many ways have we stressed our bodies? And our body, I always tell people, this is one of my favorite things I tell people is your body is a culmination of life experience. So if you had something that happened when you were a kid, earlier in your adult life, all of those things are stored in your body, all those injuries. If you haven't had therapies, physical therapy, massage therapy, mental health therapy, those things stay in your body. So what I do is
Hmm.
I help remove some of those holding patterns that your body has I've had so many people come into my office and say, I just bent over to pick up a pencil, or I just stepped off the stair in a normal way. Why all of a sudden did that happen? You know, why am I here? And it's because that was the final straw of being able to, you know, your body being able to handle one more thing. It's all incorporated, and our bodies also hold emotions. You've probably heard that or know that in your practice, but the more you can release all the tension in your body, the more you can also be better apt to release those emotions that are trapped in there as well.
Yes, a lot of people do not realize how it's all connected, and get surprised by that information. So what would you say is your favorite aspect about what you're doing? It sounds like you really like to work with people a little more intimately.
Yep. I love asking them every time they come in, what are we working on today? Everything, it doesn't matter what we did last time. This time might be completely different because either you did something else to yourself, or we were able to get your body to release something, and then it moves to the next thing that your body's storing. So this is where my analytical, you know, side comes in. I get to work with each individual person, and even though a lot of we're similar in a lot of ways, we're all not the same. We haven't had those same experiences. So so I get to use that analytical mind, and if something's not releasing, then I'm figuring out in my brain the whole time, okay, why isn't that releasing? Where do we need to work in order for that to release? Or is this something that they're storing and they're not ready? Their body's not ready. And that's okay. Like, that's the whole part of healing. And even in your world, you have to be ready to be able to handle, you know, what we're
trying to work on. Yep.
Yes, we're really trying to help you be able to move forward, and that's what it's all about. So everybody's different.
The body and the person has to be ready.
Exactly. And I think that holding that space for someone is such an honor, and you know, to have somebody come and trust you, and you know, massage is a more intimate place to be, and for someone to trust me with that, I can't explain what that feels like. And I have people that come into my office, and I have people that are fully clothed because they're either not comfortable in their own body, or they're not comfortable being touched, and this is their first try. To to someone just jumps on the table, you know, no problem. I mean, obviously I'm out of the room when they do that.
Hopefully. You want them under the sheet before you come in.
Yes. I require, people to be covered, clothed, whatever happens to be while I'm in the room. So,
what would you say is one of the more difficult aspects of what you do for you?
I think sometimes having to not being able to help someone in the whole and complete way. There's so many layers of what's in people's bodies. That's why I enjoy having connection with people in other areas, because I can only do so much. Sometimes that's frustrating because I'd really like everyone to leave the office just rip raring to go. So that's a little bit frustrating for me. Obviously there's a physical aspect, but people always ask if I hurt by the end of the day, and usually it's my brain that hurts, because I'm using
interesting.
that more during the day. That's again that analytical side that I got.
Wow.
So, and I'm empathic as well. So,
So
I've had to learn to put those boundaries up, because I went, especially when I first was in and they warned us about this, I would take stuff on. So that's another difficult aspect of massage is
Yeah, I was
you
just
care
going to
so much
ask
about the
you about
people.
what do you do for your own self-care?
Oh, well, I get my own massage. Obviously,
Really?
I
Okay.
love getting massage. Yes, I do. Chiropractic care, very often. I
Huh.
also I've been playing with, as I've aged, my exercise routine, making sure you have family and friends, or I have, you're asking about me, making sure I have family and friends and people that I am in contact with, other massage therapists. I mean, no one knows your profession except for other people, and to have
Mm-hmm.
those people in your corner is always so important. So
Yes. Yeah.
lots of things, lots of things. Trying
Okay.
to eat healthy, obviously.
So what is next for you? Are you moving into anything different or trying anything new?
I don't think I will ever stop doing massage. I'm just saying that. I just love doing that. But during the pandemic, when all of that was happening, I got to thinking, okay, so what happens if something like that happens again? How can I
And you
help
can't.
people? Right. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
hands-on stuff, right? So I did do some health and life coaching classes, and I really enjoyed that as well. And again, that's another aspect, and people get confused about, okay, so what's life coaching versus counseling? And so my biggest description, I guess, of that is, and you can correct me if you think it's different, but um, um, I believe that counseling is helping you heal from your past woundings and your um, ways of having to deal with things because of the things in the past. And I believe that the life coaching part is taking you from today, because it's so crazy you don't know how to live that way. So you help with that part.
Mm-hmm.
How do you live today? But then I can take
Mm-hmm.
you, okay, well, where do you want to be in the next 10 years, 5 years, next month?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you to start looking forward in what's healthy with you, for you. Um
Mm-hmm.
and so
And your own
that's the
goals.
exciting part for me. Exactly. That's the exciting part for
Mm-hmm.
me is being able to help people find those, um find what's theirs, because a lot of times we live for other people when we've been
Yes.
wounded. It's trying to satisfy everyone else. So there's a piece of that. I mean, we'll always have that because we live in community, or should. But
Yes.
where are your talents best used to help the people around
Mm-hmm.
you, or be the best person you can be around the other people in your life? So
Exactly.
that's the exciting part. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that looks like,
So
um,
we
for real.
so we actually do complement each other.
Yes. And then it's like this whole circle. In a lot of ways we
Yeah.
do.
Um, is there some takeaway that you hope, our listeners get out of hearing our interview today? What would you like them to have learned from this?
Listening to your podcast, it's, all the different ways that you're helping people. This is just another opportunity, another way that, um, even if you don't come to me, if you help all, your husband, your wife, your kids, that physical touch is something that is so important. Um, so obviously come to me. I would love to help, work some things out and make sure that you're on the right track. And if you want to learn how to help massage your significant other, I created a class for that. It's online. You do it on your own. So I have a way that you
Oh,
can learn how to do it yourself. And I would, and then I can always do that individually as well. But I think it's so important
how
um, for
how do
stress
people
relief.
find that class?
Yeah, you can go to my website. It's called My Hands Hurt. And there's a tab in my website that's because if you think about it, that's what I hear. I want to help my husband or wife or whatever, but my 5 seconds, my hands are hurting. So I give what's safe, what's not safe, and here's some ways: www.aya.massage.
And then they'll find the My Hands Hurt class on there.
Yeah, there's a tab. There's a tab where you can
Okay.
go and read a little bit about it, and they can go and check it out. Um,
All right. Very cool.
yeah. So, and there's a way that you can get some free information just to give you a start too.
Excellent. We're getting ready to kind of wind down, but do you have like a favorite book or two that you really like to recommend to other people?
Kind of as we were talking a little bit before, how our bodies hold on to traumas and life experience. The book it's called The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel A. van der Kolk. There's a lot of information and it kind of explains that. So the other one that I would also recommend is it's called Crash Course, a self-healing guide to auto accident and trauma and recovery.
Huh.
The authors are Diane Poole Heller, PhD, and Lawrence S. Heller, PhD. But how that kind of works is if you get in an accident, and this I think happens with trauma in general, but let's say you got rear-ended, you can either continue getting rear-ended or you may find yourself getting in front-end collisions, because that is always in your mind, and so you are trying to keep that from happening again. So there's some ways that you can work through those issues, so that isn't stored in there, for you to
So
go
hold
forward.
up. So the person's been in an accident and then they're trying to not get into another accident and somehow that distracts them, or it's kind of almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing? Or...
Kind of. So, like, if you've been rear-ended, you might find yourself looking in your rearview mirror a lot more, and so then you forget
Mm-hmm.
to watch in front of you. So you're watching
Uh-huh.
behind you. So you can it can go either way. But they've got some really good processes to go through, I think, to
Nice.
do that.
Okay.
I wanted to also
It's
give
your abandoned...
the website for Transformed Wellness Center. So Transformed Wellness Center includes you're on my website because we share
Mm-hmm.
the same office. The Abandon Your Aches massage and the life coaching is underneath that Transformed Wellness Center
Okay. All of it.
umbrella. So you can find Lucretia and you can find me in both of my avenues that I like to help people.
All right. Can you think of anything else that we haven't said that you'd want to say before we end?
I can't think of anything. I think this has been fun.
Yeah, you covered a lot.
I hope
I
it's
wasn't
been
expecting all of
super
that.
helpful. I hope it's super helpful
Yeah.
for your listeners to at least start thinking about, self-care and how important it is, and physical touch and healthy
Mm-hmm.
ways
Healthy touch.
to,
Mm-hmm.
yes, healthy physical touch, healthy ways to take care of yourself, because it's super important.
All right. Well, thank you for spending this time with me. I didn't know how long our interview would take, but thank you for taking time out of your day and getting involved in my podcast.
I am super excited. I'm super excited that you have your podcast, and I'm excited to see this take off for you. So,
hopefully, yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to end things, and I'll see you another day sometime in the office.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.